Shadow Gamers here, bringing another Raid Shadow video. Okay, so the fusion is here. It's for Emic Trunk Cart. On his A1, he's got to attack one enemy, increases the value of shield buffs on this champion by 25%, also increases the value of any shield buffs on the ally with the lowest HP by 25%. The increased value of shield buffs cannot exceed 10,000 HP. On his A2, attacks all enemies, places a shield buff on all allies equal to 30% of the champion's max HP for 2 turns, decreases the cooldown of all ally skills except this champion's by 1 turn, and it booked down, it could be a 3-turn. On his A3, Trunk Cart Sanctuary, places an unkillable buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places a taunt buff and a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns. The value of the shield is equal to 30% of the champion's max HP, and when booked goes down to 4 turns. On his passive, when attacked while under a shield buff, has a 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill on the attacker by 2 turns, occurs once per attack. Whenever an ally's HP drops below 20%, increases the damage dealt by that ally by 20%. So far, this sounds like a really good kit for this champion. Has very good HP on him. Decent amount of defense. Speed is at 105, so that ain't too bad. That's not including the gear. In order to get him, you need to get this champion from the Door faction, Furgan Isbiel. And you can get fragments or you can summon. You need 4 of them in order to get the Emic. Attack based champion. She's got a decent little bit, actually kind of low. She does bombs on her A1. Or nope, decreases duration. Yep, chance of placing a bomb for 1 turn. Instantly detonates the bomb debuff placed on that random enemy. All bomb debuffs placed on a skill on enemies whose max HP is higher than 20,000 will be 200,000 will be dealt 20% more damage. That's actually pretty darn good. A2 attacks one enemy 2 times. His first hit has a 75% chance of placing 2 bomb debuffs that detonate after 2 turns. The second hit has a 55% chance of applying debuff spread effect, taking 1 bomb debuff and placing it on all other enemies. And again, all bomb debuffs placed by the skill on enemies whose max HP is higher than 200,000 will deal 50% more damage. This really seems like a champion you want to use for your bosses for sure. Attacks all enemies, have a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns, grants an extra turn if weaken was placed on all enemies by this skill. And that'll be 4 turn cooldown if you get it booked out. On her passive, it places a revive on death buff on this champion for 2 turns when an enemy dies from a bomb debuff. That's actually pretty decent too. Albeit a bit on a 6-turn cooldown, so that's going to be a kind of a tricky one, but I think should turn out pretty good. So, alright, now if you're in your dragon tournament, get yourself up to 2,250 points, you'll get yourself 25 fragments. Now you do need 4 of her in order to get Emic. So there's a lot of stuff you're going to end up having to do. Got the dungeon divers. I believe there was another 25 on that one. Yes, there was. So hopefully you can get the fragments and get the summoning if you do that route when you excuse me. And I also see that they got 4 brand new champions. Due to the time constraint that I have on the making videos, I'm gonna have to make a second part, so you'll have to excuse me for that. But so the first part over here is about Emic, and the second part will cover the other 4 new champions that they brought. They got one from the Orc faction, the Lizardman, the Sylvan, and the Skinwalker factions. So we'll go over there, their kits, and see how good they are. I haven't looked them up just yet, so like I said, I'll cover that in the next video. So this is I'm actually gonna go for this fusion. I usually don't, just due to my time constraint, but I'm gonna see what I can do anyways, and hopefully I get lucky enough to make it happen, and hopefully you all do too. This will make it real interesting. And on a side note too, as you notice, there's a new update regarding Hydra, Clan versus Clan, and Hydra gear sets, and I'm rebalancing on, I believe it was Stone Skin. I don't know if they've done that yet. We'll take a quick look. Oh, yep, there it is. Now it's now 9. So in addition to what if you had Stone Skin, you give on a 6-piece, you get 7th, 8th, and 9th. You'll get additional 8% HP, 40 resist, and the Stone Skin shield value becomes 0.75 HP. Oh, darn it. And then on the protection, the last 3 will give you an additional 20 resistance, an additional 8% speed, and a 75% chance to place a protected buff. Allies deal 5% more damage per each buff placed by wearer. Huh, that's an interesting one as well. So it's a lot of information, a lot of things going on with Raid. Plarium has outdone themselves this time. That's going to have to be it for this video right now. I will bring out part 2 as soon as I can. I hope everybody's been real good. Happy raiding, and we'll see y'all again soon. Thank you.